not be jettisoned by the incoming administration of the president-elect Bola Tinubu. Various contracts running into billions of naira because they have sworn to work to serve Nigerians until the last day, and it's exactly what they would do.
These things we do not control the process, but when it's completed and we're still in office, we're duty bound to bring these memos to council for council to approve. Government is a continuum. There are still a lot of memos, I can assure you, a lot of contracts that will not see the light of day in the next 1 week. We have continued since 2015 to implement projects, and we are confident that the incoming administration will do the same.
The senior special assistant to the president, Garba Shehu, equally announced that the council approved 2 major contracts for Oni in the first phase. Water project amounting to 22.8 billion naira, as well as a 107 billion naira award for the remediation of newly identified hydrocarbon impacted sites along the shoreline of Ogoniland.
Approval was also given for the award for the contract for the remediation of newly identified hydrocarbon impacted sites along the shoreline of Ogoniland, and this is for about 107 billion naira. It's a big one indeed.
The last batch of Nigerian students who arrived at Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, last night have recounted the ordeals that they faced in war-torn Sudan during their evacuation back home. According to them, some female students were sexually harassed. A returnee female student who spoke to journalists on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on their excruciating experience at the border said they faced humiliation and slept in the open, and they had to find their way through life and experiences.
I was just sitting at home and I heard a bomb blast, and the place was actually close to my house. So we're in a lot of tension. Before we even got out of our apartment and out of our area, it was very, very tense. So at the end, we finally got out and we went to the University of Africa. That was where the embassy arranged the buses and take us to Port Sudan. Some went to Egypt and also we went to Port Sudan, and now we're home.
The nothing to say is only thank God, Alhamdulillah, we are back, Nigeria safe.
The Nigerian Navy has said it does not have enough vessels to patrol the over 84,000 square miles waters of Nigeria, despite fleet recapitalization under President Muhammadu Buhari. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Owolgambo, stated this when he briefed journalists on the NN Presidential Fleet Review 2023. The CNS, who was represented by the Chief of Policy and Plans, Rear Admiral Saidu Suleiman Garba, said a total of 20 capital ships were procured for the Nigerian Navy under the 8-year tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, and they have been put to good use so far, and they hope to have better days ahead.
We hope to have heads of navies and coast guard from across the Gulf of Guinea. One of the deliverables from that engagement will be the formation of a task force. With the powers that we shall have, I'm sure we'll bring every case of, most cases of piracy to an end in our waters. But to say we have Nigerian Navy has about 49, 50 ships is enough to patrol our waters. No, it's not. It's not near enough. We need more, and we are grateful to Mr. President for this vessel that he has made available to us.
More members-elect of the National Assembly have faltered the zoning formula for the leadership of the 10th National Assembly proposed by the All Progressives Congress. One of the aspirants for the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives and the current Deputy Speaker, Ahmed Wasi, and other aspirants Yusuf Gadgi, also faulted the zoning formula. The chieftain from Plateau State in the North Central lamented that the zoning formula proposed by the APC shortchanged his geopolitical zone, which he said is the only zone with no representation whatsoever.
We have done with stand the test of time. If it's on political lineage, I think I'm a better person in terms of leaders of Aswaji family because I came under AC from 2007 until when we had the merger. I've served you as deputy leader of the House. I'm now serving you as deputy speaker of the House of Representatives. If you are going to do anything, what makes you think that we're not qualified? We are not against our leaders, but if we should sit down and say, okay, sit among yourself and pick somebody you know you can work with. It's easy. It's easy. But the person the speaker is trying to even pick, there are some of our colleagues in the same assembly that even don't value, sir. To avoid past experiences. If not, sir, because of the integrity of the members of the State Working Committee, the real language in our letter is that we are rejecting. We are rejecting what is in circulation. It is unacceptable to us. We are independent bodies, sir. National Assembly cannot be turned to be like a Federal Executive Council where you pick whosoever you want to pick for. It can't be run like that. If we stuck our neck and lost lives in defense of our party, and when it is time for reward, I believe it is the state that has delivered that should be given the right of first refusal.
National chairman of the party, Abdullahi Adamu, however, promised to look into the zoning concerns of members-elect.
Give you a good conscience to give us a little time to take a good and better look at your presentation and open our ears and eyes no more.
Moving on, presidential candidate of the Labour Party has filed an application for an order to allow live coverage of day-to-day proceedings on the case he brought against the president-elect Bola Tinubu. Speaking through his legal team, Obi contended that the petition he lodged against the president-elect was a matter of national concern and of public interest. He argued that the case involved citizens and the electorate in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. And he also said those who voted and participated in the presidential poll have a right to the proceedings.
We are asking that the Honorable God should allow live streaming and broadcasting of the proceedings of the courts from day to day, whatever the court is sitting. Because it was something introduced by the colonial masters, but they have moved on, and we are still in the ancient age. So we feel that we should depart from that and adopt modernity, because some African countries are now live streaming their proceedings. I don't see why Nigeria should.
And away from that, Governor Tambuwal of Sokoto State has condoled with the people of Dandeji village in Shagari local government area of Sokoto over the death of 17 people in another boat mishap. The governor also sympathized with the families of the victims. The council chairman Alhaji Aliyu Dentani said corpses were evacuated by local divers and buried according to Islamic rites at about 12:30 p.m. He also explained that about 40 girls and boys were on their way to fetch firewood at a nearby bush when the boat capsized.
It's a bit unfortunate. From the briefing by the chairman of council, this community has not benefited from the boats that we bought, modern boats, motorized boats that this administration bought and distributed to communities in this local government. It's unfortunate. Rest assured that before we leave, we are going to order for the procurement of another boat for this community so that we avoid such incidents here, as we have provided for other communities in this local government. Continue to rely.
You are listening to Citizen FM News at noon, and out of stories on the foreign scene. 2 babies have been rescued after they were found near the shores of Lake Kivu, days after deadly floods in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Residents said they were found floating on the debris of houses washed into the lake. Delphine Berimbi, a community leader in Kalehe region, told journalists that the babies' parents had died in the flood. In other news in the world of sports, Inter Milan took a big step towards reaching the Champions League final as they beat their city rivals in a thrilling Milan derby at San Siro. In a game that had been anticipated for weeks in Italy and was witnessed at the ground by a vocal and passionate 80,000 strong crowd, Inter made the perfect start with Edin Dzeko volleyed home in the 8th minute. The goal silenced the Milan fans, the designated home side for this tie in the stadium, and the two sides share as they significantly outnumbered the Inter supporters. And that's Citizen FM News at noon, as edited by Lawrence Umoete. To listen to us online, please visit citizenfm.ng. I am Didiana to stay with us.
Looking for the best in news updates?
Yeah, man.
Listen to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja.